Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for attending this webinar. We're very excited to have you all here and walk you through LightningChart.net's release features roadmap from 2024 up to today's newest version. But first, let me tell you more about our today's speaker. Kęstutis Gurevicius is LightningChart.net's CTO, and he has over 10 years of experience developing high-performance data visualization solutions within the .NET ecosystem. Kęstutis has been key in how LightningChart advances its technology and leads development initiatives. And in this session, we will be hearing insights into how the evolution of LightningChart.net has been through the past couple of years. He will be also discussing how data teams like yours can approach performance-critical visualization challenges. If you have any questions during the session, feel free to drop them in the box. Let's get started now with our agenda for today. We will start reviewing LightningChart.net features, and then we will move on to understanding more about the .NET Interactive Examples application, and then we'll discuss more in detail about specific features, including refined legend box, palette customization, auto padding, data cursor customization, custom message box, image layer, intensity grid series polar, transparency render mode, and zoom bar. So this is it. Let's get started. Welcome, Kęstutis.
Okay, thank you for introduction and thank everybody for coming. So, yep, we have been going through our latest features and what we going to be looking or what we have in each release are dozens, from few to dozens of new features and improvements, and we're also constantly fixing errors. And yeah, we're listening for our customers and what they want, what they wish to have, and that's driving our development. And to help also customers with ideas and demonstration of new features, we're adding a lot of new examples each time. So you can find those detailed information about each release in portal, our web portal, as the change logs. And yeah, we have, as I said, too many features to cover all of them. So we will focus on a few of them today. And yeah, I want to start not with the features itself, but with our interactive example application. And as you will see, it's multi-purpose application for all purposes. And you will get this application if you're installing SDK. It will be copied with all the data files and the application itself to your local computer, and it doesn't require to have any license. Or if you have your developer license, it doesn't interfere with what kind of license you have. It will show all the features in the demo example. And if I switch you back to this, how it looks like, so this is our demo examples with more than 220 examples currently. And you can see all the small screenshots of those examples. And we are grouped in several categories like showcase, performance, yeah, and then UX/UI and so on. And you can find most popular key tags, keywords up here, so you can filter them as well. Or you can just put your search words, whatever you're looking for, property name or functionalities. Yeah, for example, like new added examples, you can just search for them and you will find most recent examples that have been lately added. And another good thing, that you can create your favorite lists. Yeah, like if you like, for example, so you just click add to your favorite, create your own list and save it and use it or share it with everybody else. So I would be loading my current favorite. list, and by clicking this star sign, I just limit show examples only to those which are pre-selected. So yeah, that's about general UI of this example application. And another good thing, what you can interact with those examples. So those are not static. So this is real-time example, and like now I just zoom with mouse wheel, and you can do even more. You can actually change sampling rate, like from now 10,000 kilohertz to 100,000, and for example, change the number of channels or number of series. Contrast that example, and here you go. That's how why it's interactive examples. You can do a lot of things here. So yeah, like changing also many things, including length of recording and so on. And one of the most important feature what you actually can extract this example as standalone project for you to check, modify, and yeah, do whatever you want with that ideas you found in the example. And it can be extracted as WPF, WinForms, or bindable projects. First three is .NET Framework projects, and bottom three are .NET 8 projects. And yeah, just select which version you prefer, extract, and it will be standalone Visual Studio project. And if you like, you can also just click on this question mark and then send your question or feedback about this specific example, or just anything you're interested to know right from this application. And one of the most useful feature for new users and also for advanced users as well is actually this property editor. So almost all properties what LightningChart has can be found here, and you can change them on fly. So yeah, like for example, in color theme here, you can just flip and yeah, change colors, change styles, and many other things you can do in property editor. You cannot add data itself, but anything else is possible. So that's was brief introduction to this very useful app. And as I mentioned, yeah, with bullet points. So yes, interactivity, including zooming, panning, and source code extraction, all teachable examples by keywords. You can modify properties on fly. Yes, you can export actually to images. I think I failed to show that. So when you open example, so those controls allow you to save to file or copy to clipboard. If you need to, even can print it, but that's probably not necessary right now. And yeah, color theme change on fly, creating your favorite example set. Yeah, and sending feedback for us. That's a summary of what you can do. So now when we are having tools to explore all of those new features, so let's come to what was one of the latest addition to LightningChart. So yeah, Legendbox is not as such latest addition, but what we do is actually we harmonized that behavioral and added several new features for Legendbox. So it's now much more consistent and much more error free legend box in all views. And one of the new features is this vertical tile gap. So as demonstrated in this bottom image. So basically you can change what's the gap between those titles. So by default it was 5 DPI units, and you can change up to 0. And or you can increase if you like. Another new feature is actually now we also support titles with multiple lines, like in this left image. So this thread series have a very long title, and it can be split in multiple lines. And we are now nicely arranged in the legend box without overlapping. And another new feature is what mouse event handlers, like clicking on legend box, double clicking or other similar mouse cursor events are much more informative now. So it can tell you specifically where you clicked. Did you click on the title? Did you click on the checkbox? Did you click on the icon? Or just somewhere on the background? So users can now create much more specific interactions with legend box. So, and one more feature is the styling of legend box, so that you can see on this right side image. So you can actually have a change of the width of a line of a check mark, and you can also change the style. So yeah, you can choose the like cross or just standard check mark. And final mentioning in this page is about the legend box in order index. So by our old design, titles in legend box are in the same order as you add them in the collection. And now you can actually manipulate that. The rendering order and legend box order can be different. So if you want, it can be opposite order when it's shown here. And yeah, some people find it useful. And a bit continuation on the same theme about legend boxes. It's more specifically now with legend box with palettes. So palettes, color bars, as you can see them here, now can have more customizable strings. So in the past, it's only was showing the values of the steps, but now you can choose what you want to write. You can choose completely different string, completely different text. You don't need to be limited to values only. And another feature of this palette is what you can now actually change the spacing between those steps. So the old way is to linear steps. So it's whenever you have like values like that, it's distance on the color bar is relative to the interval between those steps. But now you can also have a logarithmic scaling, so we are not packed into one end like it was before, or you can completely ignore the distance between both steps, and we always play it equidistantly. So that's now 3 options how you can arrange those labels. Okay, moving on. This is about auto padding feature. So this is the we're talking about this now gray area. So this is pseudo colored in this example, and The black area is the traditional auto margins, where we have very tight space calculated for access titles, labels, and we try to keep a small, as big graph area as possible for your data, and then everything else, including chart title, is just spaced minimally. And this auto padding allows you to include extra space at all sides. If you need to add something extra, like annotation or legend box can be moved in that space. And yeah, you can have, if you're publishing something into a report, you can have those extra space to whatever purpose you wish to use. You can, yeah, as I said, you can use your same Lightning Chat objects, or you can incorporate some kind of another third-party objects in that space, while keeping all the benefits of auto margins calculations and nice and tight view of a chart. Next thing I would like to talk about the data cursors. Again, this is not new feature as such, data cursors. So for example, if we go, yeah, so this is our data cursor. So as you can see, it follows mouse cursor and tracks the data point and yeah, finds the nearest one. So jumps between series if you're looking for that, and shows, as you can see, this result table. It's quite simple. It shows the series title and then coordinates, and there is also color bar indicating this colors or specific point you just tracked. And in the polar view, of course, it looks a little bit differently. Again, we have access labels, and when you want to show the table for polar view specifically, you need also to indicate what you want to show it. So data cursor, yes, first thing first is actually data cursor is not by default enabled. So if your example doesn't show, when you open it, you need to enable this data cursor visible property. So to start tracking your data. And then for this discussion, we also want to enable the result table. So as you can see, result table shows angle and amplitude of point found, and again, table is relatively simple. And for 3D, of course, the difference is that now it's in 3D space and it shows you arrow approximate location of a point on each of 3 axes, and yeah, result table is again relatively simple. And what new feature can do, you actually can have much more customized string. So as long as you can use composite format string by subscribing to change result content event, you can use event handler to create your own style of a result table. So it can be very simple if you just want to show some values and very specific decimal resolution, or you can create tables with spaces, additional spaces, and even can create multiple series tracking like functionality. So sky is the limit. So as long as you can imagine what kind of string you like to build, event handler will provide you with information about the tracking point, and you just use that information to format your string. So that's about data cursor. And next on the list is the custom message boxes. So as you can see, this is the box example of that box in the top left corner, relatively speaking. And yeah, so users can put any string here. So whenever something important is happening, you can write the message here, and then that message can be modified. So there are options to change the color, font, offset of message box. So this can be handy if developer want to pass information to end user about something happening. So that's, they don't need to invent any bicycle. This is ready-made box. Just push your string into the box and it will appear on the chart. And additional functionality, it actually can be used as during debugging. So if you, as developer, are debugging chart and something is unexpected happening, you can actually use this message box as to show your chat messages. Chat messages are internal messages that tells what something is unexpected happen in the chart. Either it's just warnings or it's some serious errors. It will, yeah, it can be shown in this message box. So you don't need to subscribe to event handler and log post messages to the file. You can see right away when it happens. So that's additional functionality you can use during debugging. And this is okay for a lot of data points. And yeah, data can come in various forms, and in case it's coming as 2D matrix and point count something, for example, in 100 millions, the challenges will be to interact with this amount of data. So like zooming, panning becomes very, very sluggish. So, and yeah, you can show it as heat map, you can show as image, but image layer is designed to solve this interactivity problems. And yeah, you can have billions of points. So we're talking about this kind of a pixel 2D type of points. And the basic idea that you have a lot of small images and you just create one large image, compounding image. Let me show for example, probably that would be easier. So as you can see, we're now filling up large image with smaller image, and at the same time, you can actually zoom in and check what's actually happening with the data you already loaded. And you don't need to wait for your computer to finish loading, which may take minutes and can be time consuming and memory consuming. So yeah, memory consumption is not going away. So all those images will take a lot of space. But now a good thing that you don't need to wait till last image will be loaded. You can start exploring those images which are already loaded, and they are very fast to interact. And one of the things we all compatible with all data series. LightningChart has. In this case, we have line collection. This is actually created with line collection. This framework frame boxes for each image, and you can have multiple image layers. So this is one image layer with just few images, small images, and this is much larger one, compiled from, in this case, about 1000 images. You can play with those settings depending on your computer memory. Yeah, you can go quite high, how many images you can upload. And yeah, that's the feature. And it's kind of similar to geographical maps tiling feature, but you actually can have sublayers with reduced image count. So basically, zoom out level, you need less than just pixels, and that makes your interaction even faster. So that's the purpose of this image layer. Yeah, sky is the limit. You can use everywhere. It's anywhere, for example, where automated video scanning is used for example, in industries which are tracking the defects and during processes, manufacturing processes. So we can produce a lot of images and a lot of data, and that's one way to get those images uploaded and still have very good interactions and can be combined with any other data user wish to use. Another thing is for Polar. Now we also have the intensity grid series Polar, which very similar to XY heat maps or intensity grid series. And it's allow also to visualize kind of this two-dimensional array of data, and where you have you have array of angles and amplitude, and you stretch within polar space. So that's and also so both are stretched equal distantly. So yeah, you just define your minimum amplitude, maximum amplitude, and angles, beginning and angles. So it don't need to be full cycle. And when your data array will be stretched in this kind of space, and it's fast and efficient. And as we can see in this example, you can use it in real time update without any problems. Again, intensity grid palette can be gradient as this one, or it can be uniform. So with all those things that works in XY works in polar heat maps as well. And we talk about polar. Let's talk also about 3D. So we have new feature also for 3D. And this is now concerns about those semi-transparent objects. So like in this very crowded image, when it's static, it looks impossible to decipher. But we will, in short moment, you will see in animation and interaction. So it's much more easy to understand what's going on inside of your 3D world if you can look through your objects. So semi-transparency and that's currently can be achieved for all objects. So okay, let's jump to that example, I guess. Well, this is our example. And let's stop animation for a little bit. So we have two point line series which shows line. We have actually line symbols. We have a bar series, 3D bar series. We have mesh models, and this one is volume models. So as you can see, you can put everything into your 3D, and unless it's become a little bit transparent, you will have very also a lot of difficulties to understand what's going where. And with this new feature, you now are much more in better position to understand your relationship between those objects. And that's about that feature. And also one word of warning, but this is only for rendering engine 11. So yeah, that's our default rendering engine currently. So you should, if you're not using too old computer, that should be fine. And finally, one feature I want to mention is zoom bar. This is kind of one or two subcontrols inside of LightningChart, which are addressing the needs to export the data. So if you used LightningChart in the past or used any charting application in the past, you will notice what more data you have, it's more slow any interaction becomes. And very often people want to see overall data, like for example in this image. So what data have been loaded so far, or all data loaded from all files. But at the same time, we want to export it just part of the data to patch of the data to see what is happening in this particular area, and zoom in a lot and check what's there. And so zoom bar solution helps to create those two images, two boxes, two windows, and the size is just arbitrary. You can size however you want, but the good thing when those are synchronized. So whenever you move your zoom area around, you automatically get the update and synchronization between those two charts. It will show where the box is and when it shows the new data in that particular area. And yeah, all the interactions works normally in the main chart, and your zoom chart, it depends. If you don't need any interaction and use light zoom bar, that's as name says, it's lighter version and use less memory. But if you want also to have more like normal chart control, then you can use the zoom bar version, which is have more interactions and that takes a little bit more memory. So that's two things you can use during the data exploration when you have high density data. So we're talking 10 millions, 100 millions, and so on. So that's all that I wanted to share by now. And yeah, happy to answer all the questions you have.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kestutis. What an intensive development roadmap for LightningChart .NET, and it's certainly a process that we're all proud of. And before I continue, we have two questions in the chat. So the first one says, can we change the bar's color in the data cursor? And the second one is, can we show an image or an icon in the data cursor?
Okay, so maybe, okay, probably I will try to answer first question about the data cursor with sharing my screen. Okay. So idea of a color bar is actually it's picking the tracked point color. So in this case, it's picking the line series color. So this is brown color, this is blue color, this is yellow. So there is no reason to change color to something else. You can disable it if you don't like it. So in this data cursor property tree, there is show cursor indicator, color indicator, sorry, show color indicator. That will remove your color completely, this bar, but otherwise, same with intensity grid series where you're tracking each point of heat map. It's showing the color of tracked point. So yeah, the logic is it's tracked point color. So there is no reasons for pseudo coloring. There is one idea you can play with colors in configuration of this axis labels. So those which appear, in this case, below x-axis or left, right on y-axis. For those you have various configuration options. So in this case, it's set as the yellow, but you can choose different color, or you can choose actually to use the series color, series title color. And because our series title is red, so now you see the x-axis marker text color is reddish, but the background around that it still reflects the series color. So that's whole idea of this data cursor functionality.
Okay.
So now let me jump back. What was the second question?
Yes, the second question is, can we show an image or icon in the data cursor?
No. So what I have been talking in presentation about this customization, so that's all about the composite string. So you cannot put any image in composite string. But what you can do, because this event of result table content change comes with the coordinates. So basically, when you know your coordinates where your tracking point is, you can put adjacent object next to it. So yeah, like synchronize both of those two objects. So it's not will be inside, but you can kind of put on the left, on the right side next to your box image. So or whatever objects you have. So that way, I imagine you can kind of create pseudo image inside or next to result table.
Okay, all right. Well, we have one more question. For zoom bar, do you have a cursor tracking so you can see where you are at on the full data plot when you move the cursor out on the zoom area?
Yeah, I think what example I was showing. Okay, let me find that example. Where's my example? I think I haven't. I wasn't showing this particular example. Okay, so this is our full view. So this is our overview, and you see this blue box, blue border box. So that's the one that shows you the part of you are looking at, and you can both increase in and resize and move that box either in your overview window, or you can do the same by just dragging your reference chart, main chart to whatever level you want, and also changing the zoom level on the main chart. So both those zoom bar controls work similar way. So yeah, if I understand question correctly, so that's your tracking zone. So that's where your current zoomed in version is showing up. So this is patch in the overall data, and you move that patch, and your reference chart is showing that detail level. Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully that answers the question. If I misunderstood something, just send me a message in support at lightningchart.com and email message, and I will try to give you more details.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, Kęstutis. I will share my screen again. So we can review the very last 3 questions that the audience sent to us before. So they want to know about UI features. How can the users contribute to developing UI features?
Yes, I mentioned initially in my presentation. So yeah, we very open to users' input, and so our backlog is open, and users are welcome to submit the wishes and ideas what we want to be developed. And yeah, so we will try our best. First evaluating is that is general need, and then we will be happy to put in our future releases. And best way I think to do that is just send email to our technical support email, so support@lightningchart.com, and we will start discussion.
Okay, perfect. The next question is about library performance. So we know that the performance of LightningChart .NET is unmatched, but can we expect it to keep improving in the upcoming releases?
Yes, of course. How otherwise? So we never stopped developing and to remain in forefront of performance in the charting component business, and for doing it for 18 years plus, and yeah, we're going to do it in the future, and
Okay.
user can also help us with that. So if we have some challenges, just yeah, forward your concerns to us, and we will see, is it something you can do better with current features and optimal usage of library, or there is something missing and need to be developed. So just yeah, again, just write us email and we start discussion.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, we have now a clarification from the user who answered the previous question. He mentioned, I meant when you are in the Zoom, can you have a crosshair in the main data view? And he mentions it's a good functionality, so thank you.
There is, at least in this heavier version of Zoombar. Sorry, I'm talking about data cursor or Zoombar now.
The Zoombar.
Yeah. So in heavy version of Zoombar, it's kind of like just secondary chart. It has everything. So basically, that means you can put anything in it, including markers, bitmaps, and so on. So it's just duplicate of your original chart. That should be possible with that. The lighter version it's light. It's just snapshot of image of your overall main chart. So in that, it may be limitation what is shown in that bitmap. Some things we by default we removing, so to make it clean snapshot. But yeah, some things are still possible as well. So I guess we need to experiment a little bit, and if you can elaborate what you need, maybe we can come with a most optimal solution for that.
Okay. And I think we can reach out to the person who asked this question. Maybe we can help you a little bit more on that later.
Mhm.
But thank you for the questions. And I had one more. So can you tell us a little bit more about the trader version of LightningChart.net?
Yeah, I think we have trader control for some time, probably 5 years, and we continue developing. And idea is its trader library consists of controls, tools, and methods to create the trading or financial application very easy. So on one hand, it's based on our robust LightningChart API. So everything what LightningChart can do fast and good, it's in Trader as well. But in addition, Trader also have all the technical chart features. So for example, it have dozens of chart types, 100 plus technical indicators, and 30, at least 30 drawing tools to to yeah to help you to create nice financial trading application. And yeah, in that famous demo interactive example application, you can find 10 examples about trading, specifically about this trading control. So yeah, you can just explore what it offers, and again, it's interactive, so you can play and see all those tools and indicators in action.
All right, perfect. Well, if you've been a LightningChart.net user, but you no longer have a subscription, we would be very happy to work and help you to work with LightningChart.net again at a special discount. And if instead you want to speed up your application development, you can get access to our advanced training sessions. They include a dedicated workshop with our .NET experts, assistance with custom requests as the ones we just saw today. And for more information, you can always reach out to us at sales@lightningchart.com. And finally, for those who don't know yet, Dashtera is our latest data visualization platform. It is powered by the LightningChart graphics engine and is a no-code solution. So it's perfect to improve how your non-technical users can benefit from your current data pipeline. To find more information, go to dashtera.com. This was it, and thank you so much for attending. Thank you, Kestetis, and we'll meet next time. Bye.